Hey folks, welcome back to another Palm Master video. Today let's talk a bit about the new and upcoming Champion Serena and Greninja. And this is a good unit. Surprise! It's a very good unit. So yeah, if you guys are new to the channel, make sure to subscribe. Upload Palm Master videos every day, and we will be pulling for her when she drops later tonight. So if you want to turn notifications to that, you can do that as well. And let's get into the unit. Okay, so a big thing about this unit is with her and Calc as well, also another Greninja. They have this new mechanic where they change types before they use the move. So you click the move, and like right before the move actually activates, you switch to whatever type the move is, right? So you got water and dark, and it changes. First of all, it changes your sync move type, right? And it also changes your passives. So that's the big thing about this unit, right? And it's a Masterfair. So you have the Master Passive, obviously Calc Spirit, incredibly powerful Master Passive. And on top of that, I mean, she has a lot of great things. Good speed, good physical special attack, right? Even though she's still mainly special, right? Her dark side is physical, and her her water side is special, right? Brutal Swing versus Water Shuriken, basically, and yeah, she's good. she's really good. So Water Shuriken, a great thing about that is you do have no quarter, so you are guaranteed to hit 5 times with Water Shuriken, right? When you are using Water Shuriken, and then when you are also in Water type, you have Unfortunate Strike 9. Guaranteed chance of lowering a stat rank at random, but it also based on how many hits you hit the opponent with. So you could throw in 5 stat debuffs in like one Water Shuriken, right? Because you're guaranteed to hit 5 times. So in terms of the dark type version, right, which is when you use Brutal Swing, you have a few different things. You have Staggering 2, which on Brutal Swing, that should be an AoE, 30% chance of flinch, which is always really good, especially for something like Gauntlet. And then Discombobulate 9, which lowers the opponent's accuracy by 1. Obviously, this is the better overall debuffing move, but I mean, if you're for some reason you specifically need to debuff accuracy, then you got Dark type for that, I guess. So yeah. Let's talk a bit about the unit's grid, right? If you are going to pull for how many copies you need, 1 out of 5, you have most of the stuff, right? Oh, I forgot to talk about her training move, which is also pretty important as well, right? Her training move, or not training move, but her buddy move over here, first of all, does damage, right? It's actually like a damage dealing training move. It's both physical, normal, regardless of which type you're at. And also she doesn't change to normal type, which, thank goodness, right? So yeah, after an ally's attack moves hit a total of 10 times, right? Any allies, right? So it's not just one, which that's just 2 Water Shurikens, right? Straight up 2 Water Shurikens, and then boom, you can activate this. It lowers the opponent's defense and special defense by 2, right? Lowers the opponent's water rebuff by 1 when your sync is water type, and lowers dark rebuff by 1 when the sync is dark type. Reduces sync move countdown by 1 and raises speed of all sync parts by 3 ranks. This is very good. You can use it twice, right? So that could straight up net you -4 defense, special defense on the opponent, if they've already, if they haven't already gotten to like -6 already from her passive. And then buffs your team's speed by 6, which is insanely good, right? Insanely good, even especially with her already really good base speed there as well. So this is just a fantastic unit overall, right? Even if you don't get into the grid and stuff, right? Trainer move is just a pretty standard stat buffing thing, right? Special attack plus 4, crit by 3, attack by 2. So it is probably going to be a bit harder to use the dark version of Serena, because you do need a bit more support, but it's not that big of a deal. I mean, the water side also needs extra +2 special attack anyways, if you don't have it in the rest of the grid, which she doesn't have. All right. So yeah, 1 out of 5 at base. Not that 1 out of 5 gives you anything. Is good enough. 2 out of 5 is not exactly worth really going for. I mean, you do get an extra 50% on Brutal Swing, which is neat, but overall, it's whatever, right? 3 out of 5 is where you get most of your like big stuff, like Furious Brain over here. That's 30% power up, right? If you have your special attack maxed out. Soften Up, that's guaranteed crit on sync, right? If you have +3 crit, which you do, right? Which you do by yourself. Power Play, it's pretty, nice sync nuke multiplier as well. Mind Blowing Strike 2 is nice, right? But you could also just get lucky on this one, right, and then have that obliterated. But if you wanted something more surefire, right, you could go with that. That's what, -5 special defense, right, or something. In rain, right? In rain, that's straight up just -5 special defense in one move. You thought like Dojo Gloria's -3 physical defense was crazy. This is -5. And then move gauge refresh 9 on Brutal Swing, which is overkill. I mean, her gauges is really good. Super duper effective 9 on Brutal Swing, defense crush 9 on Brutal Swing, and then you have extra physical and special move up next on your training move there as well. So yeah, 3 out of 5 is where you get a lot of your extra multipliers in terms of sync nuke and DPS, and also if you really want to like do damage with her dark type moves, you kind of have to go for 3 out of 5, or else her Brutal Swing does like no damage at all, right? As for the numbers, even though over here it says it's what, 3rd on this list, but she should easily actually do more damage than both Archie and Singsu Hilbert. Archie does count the super effective up next, which Serena could get the super effective up next herself as well, right? And obviously that's gonna be higher than Archie, because you can see without super effective up next, Serena does more. And Singsu Hilbert does have the rebuff, I believe. Serena's isn't calculated with the rebuff. Actually, I'm not super sure. No. Oh, it is with the rebuff. It is. No, okay. So it should be if you want, because again, she could also get super effective up as well, right? If you run teammate, should be more than Archie, right? But yeah, it's good, man. It's good. Do also keep in mind -5 if you really want, right? At 3 out of 5, -5 special defense debuffs in like one turn, right? So yeah. Here's where without rebuff. Yeah, without rebuff, it's around what is this? Dojo Gloria, Summer Gloria, the other 2 Glorias, which is good. It's good. It's not like insane, right? But yeah, that's the unit, right? I mean, as long as you get the rebuffs, very powerful damage dealer on top of very good of a gauge unit, very great of a, it's probably the best overall debuffer in the game, right? And yeah, very powerful. Very helpful for your team as well. And stuff in terms of her dark damage, which shouldn't be as good, right? Oh wait, what's her how much she use? Oh, okay. Well, there's one thing. She is the highest water nuker in the game with rebuff. Without rebuff, second highest, which is still very good. So yeah, surprise, very good damage dealer here. And yeah, her dark damage is definitely not as impressive. Right? I mean, it's really just Brutal Swing. And I'm not sure, does this Okay. Yeah. It is with super duper effective 9. Okay, sure. So yeah, definitely not as impressive. I mean, this is around what, Lysander, Master Royale numbers and such. It's not like terrible, right? It's not terrible. But the water, water one is obviously a much more powerful version over here, and but she has the highest nuke. Even without rebuff. Even without rebuff, she is still the strongest dark type nuker, which is kind of crazy considering dark type actually has some pretty powerful nukers. I mean, Master Royale is a really good nuker, and she does like 50% more than that without rebuff, and like twice as much with rebuff. Whew, that's something, man. That is definitely something. So yeah, probably you would kind of want to go for 3 out of 5 if you also want the extra dark type damage, which still doesn't amount to like too much, but if you want, it's still sort of like a 2-for-1 sort of a unit, right, in terms of type effectiveness, right? All right, let's quickly go over some grid and lucky skills and team comps and stuff here, right? So in terms of lucky skills, it really depends. You could do Weathered Warrior 3, you could do, Superpower 3, or you could do Critical Strike 2. Crit Strike 2, obviously the most consistent one of the 3. The other 2 are more situational, but the other 2 gives you like 10% more damage. So, or you could do something like Grand Entry 2, so you don't have to bring a special attack support, right? But yeah, it's really up to you. All right, so as for the grid, 1 out of 5, you could take as much as you want, I believe, but if you do want to save some of your orbs, just basically pick up all the water shuriken power-ups. I guess if you're using her mostly as a water type damage dealer, which again at 1 out of 5 you probably are, right? And maybe pick up some speed, and yeah, you could save your orbs, but if you don't have to worry about orbs, you can pick like almost everything up, right? Pretty sure you can pick everything up, but anyways, moving on. 2 out of 5. You have a few things, right? A few more options that you could go for. You could pick up the sync stuff, right? If you are syncing with her, and again, it really depends on which version you're trying to go for, right? Are you more using her for water shuriken damage or brutal swing, or brutal swing damage? Or I guess so. At this stage, it's more so for the nuke than brutal swing damage, right? But like, yeah, are you going for water shuriken damage or water type damage or dark type damage, right? You could pick up that extra foul fighting 5 for a brutal swing. It's not gonna make brutal swing incredible, but it'll do something. Right, but if not, probably just pick up Flabbergas. I mean, free extra confusion on the opponent, which is cool, I guess, right? And this stuff you could pick up depending on which zone or weather you have, right? If you want, you could also pick up the MP refresh on the trainer move if you don't want to run another extra support, but I generally don't feel like it's that big of a deal to pick that up. But otherwise, honestly, 2 out of 5, you don't have that much, different options in comparison to 1 out of 5. And at 3 out of 5 is obviously where you get everything. So again, like I mentioned before, it really depends on what you're trying to do with her, right? For example, if you're trying to go for, water type damage, right? You pick up Fierce Brain over here, Power Play for the extra sync as well. You could pick this up, or if you're feeling lucky, you could just rely on her passive to do the job. If you do pick it up, that's like minus like 10 stats per hit, or per like move from her, right? Assuming you don't have any overlaps or over debuffs, right? Which would be funny, but otherwise, if you want, you can pick this up. I don't feel like it's that big of a deal. I mean, extra damage is fine, but I'd much rather spend my energy like on this stuff, right? Maybe pick this up, maybe pick up Soften Up, and yeah, pick this up, or you could either go here as well. It really depends on you, right? You want the faster debuffs, or do you want the extra move gauge refresh plus the sync move power up, or if you don't care about the move gauge refresh, just like extra water shuriken power ups, because these are actually low-key really good. You see it's only like +1 power, but I mean it's 5 times in a row, so it's actually a pretty big deal. Each water shuriken power up, so those are actually low-key gonna be nice. As for dark type damage, I feel like the one that I think Runner had on the Calc doc should be fine, right? I mean, picking up super duper effective 9 is fine, because like if you're using her dark type DPS, you would almost always be using against dark weak units. I say almost always because you could use it sometimes against like non-dark weak units. For example, if there's a lot of gauntlets that are weak to flinch, right, but aren't necessarily weak to like dark type, right? For example, something like the Tababulu, right, not weak to dark but weak to flinch, so you could swap at that, and then once you flinch them, you can maybe go back to some water shuriken. So like, I guess in that case, don't pick up the super duper effective 9, but otherwise, it's almost always a decent option to pick up. You still want the power play though, because that's gonna be your like main way of actually dealing damage over here, right? Because again, brutal swing could do a bit, right, but it's not gonna do that much. And if you need the gauges, you go for the move gauge refresh 9 over here, but the issue with that is you won't be able to pick up an extra sync move power up, right? So you could go for Flabbergast 4 over here, which costs 1 less, which is exactly enough to pick up another sync move power up. Or I suppose you could do this if you just want extra DPS and don't care about the nuke that much. It is an extra 50% for DPS, but I'm not sure if it's worth giving up that extra, nuke stuff. So, all right. In terms of team comps, I mean, there's a killer team comp for her Rain type damage, which is her, Dojo Gloria, right, and the new champion Hilbert. This is a team that's mainly gonna more so support Dojo Gloria, but Dojo Gloria is gonna go crazy in that comp, right? I mean, obviously you could swap the Rain unit out for a lot of different units. You go SS Chris, which is probably gonna help Serena a bit more, although not even necessarily. So they should all be good. Or you could run double Spirit Masterfair with her and Kyogre, right? You get the Rain and the double, special Masterfair passives, which is very deadly as well, and you get a secondary special water type damage dealer that could take advantage of the special defense debuffs that she could provide as well. Also, in this case, you'll actually have a really nice water type nuker, so that your Kyogre doesn't have to sink, because Kyogre sink's not like crazy good or whatever, right? You go that. Obviously, there's also the option of May. If you don't have any of those, you could still go with something free to play wise with like Winona, and then have a support, that just could top off her special attack, right, a bit. Something good would be something like Brendan Latios, but without that, there's still a lot of special support that you could run there. New Sabrina would always be a nice option, or even if you don't care about topping it off and you run something like Or Cynthia is still going to be nice, or whatever, right? The upcoming Holiday Jasmine. I don't know. There's just a lot of units, okay, that could top her off and be relatively effective. As for Dark type, again, you could still run with champion. Did I call it Hilbert earlier? Champion Calum. Oh my God, in Shining Greninja. They're always going to be good together. Always going to be very good together. Slap them together. It's gonna be a good time. All right, gonna be a very good time. Although if you're not gonna go for both, you could still run something like a Sunku Cyrus for the Dark Zone. You probably, if you are trying to use her for Dark, you probably would want to also run a Dark type DPS, right? Maybe you could have her as a nuker, because she is the strongest Dark type nuker, right? But maybe have someone else handle the DPS. Well, not handle, but contribute a bit more to the DPS. So like your overall, DPS outside of the nuke turns aren't like too lacking, right? So something like a Marnie Power Trip Marnie would be very, very good. Summer N would be pretty nice, right? Karen Houndem could be okay too, but then do keep in mind you do have to sync with Karen Houndem first, right? Even though she did get much, much better in that category, right? It's still slightly sad that you don't get to use Serena's, massive, massive nuke there. But also, I mean, you could maybe just take the time to sync with Karen first so you could get the entire thing set up with Greninja, because you would have to use a few water shurikens. I mean, regardless, right, which damage you're trying to go for, both types can give you a lot of value, right? Because again of the different passive, if you want to like flinch the opponent or debuff the opponent more, right? So I'd say most time you'll whichever type you're maining, you'll probably dabble in both a bit, right? So yeah, those are I guess some comps for Serena. Also in terms of support wise, she does need quite a bit of support for her physical attack over here. So in terms of like really, really good options, another solid option you could run with her is Fall Hilbert, right? Something like a Crunch Fall Hilbert, or like Summer Marnie with Crunch, right? It's like a lot of like Crunch units that could also help debuff physical defense as well, right? Those could be really, really nice units to run with her as well. And again for physical sports, Sonya would be nice. Sonya also does debuff physical defense, right? Classic Red give you that extra super effective up next as well, right? Also can debuff physical defense. Although Classic Red doesn't max out your physical attack, so that could be maybe a bit of an issue. What else? Not so much a support, but like SS Lyra if you want, right? Especially if you're picking up something like Foul Fighting 5, you get the guaranteed flinch from Flinch Trap Confused from SS Lyra. And SS Lyra could also help max out your stats there as well. So yeah, a lot of options physical support wise too, right? If you want to go for something a bit more tanky as well, go for maybe Fall Caitlyn if you have her. But some of the free units work too. Bugsy Scyther, also solid physical defense debuffer, or if you really just don't have anything, PP Surge maybe, which is like free, right? Not like a event limited unit sort of thing. So yeah, that's some comp ideas, I guess. So in the end, is this a unit worth pulling for? Well, absolutely worth pulling for, man. This is incredibly powerful unit, right? This is probably like a 9 out of 10, maybe even a bit higher, maybe even higher, because like a lot of things, right? It's not just the damage, which she does, right? Not just damage, but it's the gauge management for your team, right? It's the rebuffs, right, that could help your entire team do more damage, right? It's the extra, it's the massive amounts of debuffs that she could get onto the opponent. This is just crazy stuff, man. Absolutely disgusting things she is doing as a unit. Plus, if you're again looking for a damage dealer, this is 2-in-1, right? You got a fantastic water type damage dealer and the strongest Dark Nuker in the game. So yeah, no, this is a plus unit, man. Fantastic stuff. Yeah, you will not regret pulling for her if you do, right? So anyways, that's been this one, I guess. So be all gentlemen, guys, think in the comments down below, like, enjoy the videos, burn channel for some more Pokemon content, become a channel member for cool emojis, throw in a super thanks, want to support the channel, have fun, good luck if you guys are pulling, and I'll be pulling for tonight, and stay tuned for that. I'll see you guys next one then.